Hello you guys, welcome to my channel All Things Militia, where I discuss a lot about what's going on in the political world and also topics that pertain to everyday life in general. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for your support. As always, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you see a video that you like, to give your girl a thumbs up. Share the video, leave a comment down below because I want to get your thoughts on the topics I'm discussing. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. You can do all those things, and don't forget to subscribe if you're interested. So I just wanted to come on here today and discuss birthright citizenship. As you know, the Supreme Court is having hearings regarding birthright citizenship. President Trump signed an executive order pretty much denying birthright citizenship to illegal immigrants. This was something that was supposed to be for the descendants of slaves, okay? And, you know, when the former corrupt senile president left the border wide open for his entire time, he allowed millions of illegal citizens to flood into the country. And when these people come over here, they have children, and when you're born on our soil, they believe you're supposed to automatically just be considered a U.S. citizen. But if you're here illegally, your children should not, or whoever you bear should also be illegal, in my opinion. So let's just get into this a little bit, you guys.
For the first time in U.S. history, a sitting president attended arguments in person. It was all about the legality of his day one executive order ending birthright citizenship for the children of illegal immigrants. The president says the goal is stopping Americans from getting ripped off.
The reason was it had to do with the babies of slaves and the protection of the babies of slaves. It didn't have to do with the protection of multi-millionaires and billionaires wanting to have their children get an American citizenship. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. People are making a big living, getting hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars from bringing people in and saying, congratulations, your whole family is going to be a citizen of the United States of America. That's not what it was for.
And the numbers back up the president. Nearly 1 in 10 babies born in the United States in 2023 were born to unauthorized or temporary status mommies. But that fact is lost on liberal freaks like this guy in a pink frog costume. And check out this Democrat's foul mouth meltdown. You ready? Rep. Susie Lee posting and then deleting. It's a whole lot of.
We don't even know who she is. But at any rate, you know, for those that are claiming Trump is, you know, not for black people or just America, period. Okay, this is a big issue. You have millions of people in this country that came illegally that are able to get benefits that they have not earned, and then have children. And then their children are considered to be citizens because they were born here, although their parents came here illegally. What's going to happen to the country, you guys, if they're allowed to do that? This country is pretty much doomed if they're allowed to do that. So President Trump, once again, coming through for the American citizens. Let's take a look at it. Birthright citizenship. Let me go up a little bit. If I could take this up. And birthright citizenship in the U.S. Constitution is established by the 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause, 1868, after the Civil War, stating all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. This guarantees citizenship regardless of parent status, with exceptions only for children of foreign diplomats or enemy occupiers. And then you have some key aspects. The 14th Amendment, ratified to overturn the Dred Scott decision and ensure citizenship for former slaves. It established that birth on U.S. soil is the primary determinant of citizenship. Okay, and then when you go down a little bit further, you can read this on your own. I'm under Google if you want to look into it yourself. But it says current legal challenges, although legally settled for over a century, The concept has faced renewed challenges through executive actions by President Trump, attempting to deny citizenship to children born to, they want to call it undocumented parents, but it's illegal, okay? Illegal citizens for the most part. And they should not be allowed, whether you come over here and have kids or not, you and your kids both should be deported, in my opinion. Because you're coming over here and you're grifting off of the taxpayer, and then it's all at the expense of the taxpayer. So hopefully, the Supreme Court will rule in favor of President Trump and pretty much in favor of us in this country by doing this. I wanted to, let's go here first before we go to that one and look into it a little bit more. Right here, this is a X post I saw by Jack. He says, it has been revealed that 320,000 children, nearly 9% of all U.S. births, were born to unauthorized or temporary migrant mothers. And these people come over here poor. So you come over here and you come into the healthcare system and you're able to get free healthcare and free services, all on the taxpayer's dime. This is straight criminal, you guys. Straight criminal. But let's look at it a little bit more.
About birth tourism. It's booming. In 2023, over 300,000 babies were born to unauthorized or legal temporary immigrant mothers. Add that in total. It's 9% of the U.S. births in that given year. When we look at how that shakes out over time, a clear spike in the number of births to unauthorized immigrant mothers in the United States from 2019 to 2023. That's unprecedented. It's unforeseen. It's undeniable.
Yep.
But Chief Justice Roberts, unconvinced.
It certainly wasn't a problem in the 19th century.
No, but of course, we're in a new world now, as Justice Alito pointed out, where 8 billion people are one plane ride away from having a child who's a U.S. citizen.
Well, it's a new world. It's the same Constitution.
Here's the counterpoint.
Yeah, new world, same Constitution, excuse me, you guys, these people. At any rate, let's look at some of the comments on here. It says, I know many people will disagree, but I feel children born to illegals in the U.S. are just as illegal as the parents. Okay, because you weren't supposed to be here in the first place. So if you come over here and screw and have a child, you and your child should both be heading back to the border, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not fair to the U.S. taxpayers. Somebody says, correct, that's what happens when you put the native population into high stress, low income positions and give the newcomers free money and housing. They have lots of babies. Yeah, you don't have nothing else to do. You're not working. You're just going to the welfare office to get benefits. Got plenty of time to screw over the taxpayers while you're at it. A little bit more of this, you guys. Birthright citizenship means that children of illegal aliens can vote to tax your children and seize their inheritance. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Let's look into a little bit more of this.
But there's a difference between giving citizenship to the children of slaves, the children of those subject to the Middle Passage, the children of sharecroppers, and the children of those who were once considered property, and giving citizenship to the children of people who crossed the border illegally, stay in taxpayer-funded luxury hotels. There's a big difference.
Very.
My great-great-grandfather was born on a plantation, Rosedale Plantation in Louisiana. He had to join the Union Color Guard to gain his freedom. By morphing the citizenship clause into something that it wasn't meant to be, it's demeaning to descendants of slaves like me. We are talking about a direct descendant of a slave that earned the right to be in this country and passed that ilk down to his ancestry. People bled for it, and it means something. The purpose of President Trump's birthright citizenship executive order is that the citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment was never meant to apply to children of illegal or legal aliens.
Right.
Allowing birthright citizenship to stay in place dilutes the citizenship of not just Black Americans like me, but every single American citizen that had to earn it the right way.
Right.
Let's say this in black and white. Either you're a U.S. citizen or you are not. Now, the left has spent decades cheapening what it means to be an American citizen. They've quite literally been chipping away at the basic value of American citizenship. They pretend to be altruistic.
They always pretend to be altruistic. Always. That's how the Democrats come. Like wolves in sheep clothing, pretty much. Okay, always trying to make like there are for people in diversity and everyone deserves a right at the American dream. Everybody but the American? I mean, these people have been screwing us over, you guys. And now you see why they're going all out for these No King protests, trying to keep these people here so that they can keep power. For the most part, that's what it's always about, the money and the power. And I would beg to say they're trying to replace, you know how they always like to call things a conspiracy theory when you're on to the truth. We have something called the replacement theory. And it says the great replacement theory is a white nationalist, far-right conspiracy theory, asserting that Western elites are deliberately engineering the replacement of white populations with non-white immigrants, originating in France and popularized by Renaud Camus, if I'm pronouncing the name right. It claims this: often anti-Semitic plot aims to diminish white political power and culture. Yeah, you don't need a conspiracy theory when you can see what's happening right in front of your face. Says the aspects is the demographic replacement, the belief that non-white, largely Muslim or African immigrants are replacing Native European and American populations. You could see that. Okay, you could just go drive around and you could see that. Elite conspiracy, a belief that political, media, and corporate elites, often targeting Jewish people, encourage immigration to eliminate national identities. Voter replacement, you don't say. A claim that liberal leaders encourage immigration to change the electorate and secure political power. Well. Couldn't this be what this is all about? While the former corrupt senile president left the border wide open, I would beg to say that it's probably why. And to further that cause, let's look at this to further prove that.
So there's a second thing in that black box: an unrelenting stream of immigration, non-stop. Mm-hmm. Folks like me who were Caucasian of European descent, for the first time in 2017, will be in an absolute minority in the United States of America. Absolute minority. Fewer than 50% of the people in America from then and on will be white European stock. That's not a bad thing.
What, really?
That's a source of our strength.
Really? That's a source of your strength. You can always, like Obama reportedly is on record saying, you can always depend on Biden to F things up. Literally just telling you right out of the horse's mouth. That's the source of their strength, to have all these people flood into the country like this. And people want to, and they want to put it in the media, no kings protest. You're trying to get rid of people. They have a right to be here. Yeah, legally. But you don't have any rights if you're not over here legally. But during this corrupt senile fool's administration, he opened the border up on day one and did not close it until July of 2024, an election year. A few months right before the election was when he closed it, or signed some type of order limiting the amount of people coming in to make it appear like they were working on the border, but left it open the entire time. Bunch of damn crooks. At any rate, you guys, let's look at this a little bit more to see why he said what he just said. Look, remember when he came in, they had the Biden-Harris shirts? Where'd they get those shirts from? Many people said that they bought them with our tax dollars.
U.S. were spotted wearing Biden, please let us in t-shirts. And while the White House refuses to call what is going on a crisis, a leaked memo says border agents are being overwhelmed. According to Axios, hundreds of unaccompanied minors are being taken into custody on a daily basis, and Border Patrol is struggling to deal with the skyrocketing number. Okay, I'll start with you first.
So they had Biden-Harris shirts on. And you coming over here poor, broke, busted, disgusted, whatever. Where y'all get those shirts from? Who printed those shirts up for y'all? Who made those shirts for you guys? At any rate, you guys, moving on and along, let's look at it with an everyday person. Oh, let's go back to Kamala, see what he posted regarding what she said.
Care about border security. He only cares about himself.
Wait a minute. That don't even sound like her real voice. Here she goes using the accent again.
And when I am president, I will work to actually solve the problem.
Girl, shut up. You didn't do a goddamn thing the whole time you was in office with that corrupt senile one. You were the border czar. And you were a part of leaving the border open the entire time that the corrupt senile president was in office, and you were the vice president, and you didn't do a darn thing about it. Thank God you didn't become president. Would have just been another puppet stooge just like the one that you were under.
You're vice president now, and you've been supporting what the president has been doing. Under the Biden-Harris administration, this is what immigration has looked like. This is from 2016 to 2023.
Wow, y'all.
I want you to guess when the Biden-Harris administration came into power.
Look at that.
Yes, when you see the chart go vertical, that's the result of the Biden-Harris administration. So they inherited all the work that Trump did on the border. They then went and reversed all the work he did, set records in illegal immigration, and are now coming and attacking Trump, saying he doesn't care about the border and we're the people who care about the border. We just had 4 years of you guys caring about the border. You guys did not seem to care about the border until these re-elections came around and you were losing in the polls. Then Democrats started acting like they care on the border. But these numbers show us they don't care about the border. Not to mention all the people they let in on that vertical spike, they've been talking about trying to give them citizenship. So they get into office, they let millions of people in for the first 2 to 3 years.
Care about border security.
Ain't that something, you guys? Ain't that he don't care about border security when you was the border czar and had the border wide open the entire time. These people are a bunch of damn liars, crooks, and demons. At any rate, let's close this out to further that, prove my point. This is what Biden was doing at the end of his administration, right when they learned that President Trump, despite all of their many methods to try to keep him from becoming reelected, you know, the mug shot, I've said this repeatedly, raiding his home. He's a crook. He's a criminal. He's a fascist. He's a racist. He's an authoritarian. He's a dictator. He lies on his taxes. He lies on his property evaluations. He's a womanizer. Like everything they could think of, they tried to throw at that man, including trying to terminate him physically from the earth. And then when they saw that no matter what they threw, it didn't stick, and that he was going to be more than likely the incoming president of the United States, then let's look and see what they started doing.
Border scraps for sale and on the cheap indeed. In their last weeks, the Biden administration is set to auction off sections of the border wall before President Trump takes office.
It's not funny,
minimum opening bid starts at $5 for 20 tons of taxpayer-funded steel. Talk about a steal. William Lajeunesse has got the story in L.A. Wow. William, hello.
Good morning, Bill. You know, this has been a debacle from the very beginning when President Biden stopped construction of the border wall on his first day in office, abandoning millions of tons of steel. So where is it now? Well, huge sections we found yesterday being trucked away from the border, being sold as scrap for pennies on the dollar. Even though President Biden knows the incoming administration wants this material, he is selling it. Hundreds of tons of state-of-the-art finished steel wall for almost nothing at auction sites like this one near Tucson, meaning taxpayers will likely pay twice for the same stuff. Now, the Biden team already sold most of an estimated $350 million worth of lights, wires, and these expensive steel bollards, according to the government auction site.
That should be treasonous. That should be treasonous. So he knew that Trump, even during Trump's first term in office, he was talking about building the wall, and he had built so many miles of walls. Still had supplies there to be finished, but you know they staged a coup and removed him from office and got right on with the destruction of this country by leaving the border, opening up the border on day one, closing down the Keystone Pipeline. I mean, it's crazy what these people did. And there really needs to be some justice. I would want the Democrat Party to be labeled a terrorist party, honestly, to this country, a terrorist group. Because they have done nothing for this country but bring in destruction, division, chaos ever since the Civil War. They are not for America. I don't give a damn how people say the parties have switched and all this and that. The proof is in the policy. Like they say, the proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the policies, what these people have done and what they are doing. Tells you everything you need to know about what they are for, if you have any form of sense. That's just my take on it, you guys. Let me know yours in the comment section. Let me cool off real quick, and I'll see you later.